Good morning, folks. It's Mitch with SC Weather. It is early. I've never done a video quite this early before, but hope y'all are getting up and getting going. It's going to be an active weather day across the state. I'm going to ask that y'all subscribe if y'all haven't, if y'all are watching. I will be chasing this storm today unless something comes up that kind of prevents me from doing so. So subscribe, follow along, and I'll keep y'all updated. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, things like that. I'm at SCWeather _ WX. So that's good ways to follow along, stay updated with what looks to be a landfalling hurricane Isaias somewhere on the South Carolina, North Carolina border. So let's dive right into this. So this is hot off the press, the latest National Hurricane Center cone. Cone's not really so much of a big deal anymore because we're now casting, which means it's so close now that we can see it on radar, and it's marching on up, and I mean, the inevitable is going to happen. Now there's now, I'm going to try to get a little zoom in here, there's now hurricane warnings from Myrtle Beach through Wilmington, a little bit north of Wilmington, a little bit south of Myrtle Beach too. So where they're expecting this thing to make landfall is a little bit more north, maybe closer to North Carolina, South Carolina border, which kind of sucks for me because it makes me have to drive a little further because I do want the best action for you guys and for me for, you know, just an awesome experience. So hurricane warnings, like I said, Myrtle Beach, that's you, northward. So this is getting serious. They think it's going to strengthen right before landfall, and it's getting into a pretty big deal. So check it out. This is excessive rainfall for today and tonight into tomorrow, and you know, flooding obviously with any tropical system is a major deal. So it's going to be a major deal along almost the entire coast because it's going to get close enough to places like Charleston, Georgetown, and things like that, to the point where they're going to get really heavy rain today, even though the center of circulation is not necessarily going to hit y'all. So this is a big deal. Check it out. This is storm surge warnings across the state, all the way from just south of Charleston all the way to the North Carolina, South Carolina border. And this may have updated, and this is from 11 p.m. last night, so it might be a little higher now, but expect all the way from just south of Charleston, well, all the way from about Edisto Beach to Cape Fear, which Myrtle Beach and Charleston sits between that 2 to 4 foot of storm surge. So this is going to become a big deal later on today. So, you know, don't let your guard down because this really looks like it's going to strengthen into a hurricane just before landfall. So it looks like our state is going to get impacted by hurricane conditions. So it's going to be a low-end hurricane, I think. I think it might just bump over the threshold or the categorization of being a hurricane, which is 75 miles per hour. I don't think it's going to get much higher than that. There's a small chance it might go to 80 miles per hour, but impacts kind of remain the same. There's not a huge difference between the two. So this is becoming a big deal. Check it out. This is radar imagery of what is Isaias. And it might just look like a blob of rain to you, but it's because it's kind of out of the radar's range there in Jacksonville, and by the time y'all watch this, it's going to look different, some of y'all. And you know, the rain bands are even making it inland into South Carolina already and affecting places like Hilton Head and things like that. So this is a big deal, and I want to show this. I just screenshot this from National Hurricane Center off Twitter. It says Isaias forecast to become a hurricane today. Hurricane warning issued for a portion of the coast of South and North Carolina. So there it is right there, that coming from the experts itself, telling you that this thing is going to become a hurricane today. I mean, it's likely to become a hurricane. So I want to show you this. These are probably updated a little later, but this is from the National Hurricane Center. National Weather Service here in Columbia. So I want to show you all the whole broad picture. So I know I don't have a key over there, but credit the National Weather Service for this. It's not my imagery or anything like that. But the greens you see, those are flash flood watches. They may get extended east, they may not. The darkish red right there, that is a tropical storm warning. So even places in Orangeburg, you're under a tropical storm warning. I don't know if that'll be adjusted or not. So we go to the Charleston National Weather Service, and storm surge warnings for Charleston. Tropical storm warning, Moncks Corner, Somerville, Charleston, Beaufort, Savannah, Hilton Head, all them places like that. Now, this is a little deceiving here. This is National Weather Service in Wilmington, which covers the Myrtle Beach, Georgetown, Conway, Florence, Darlington area. Green over there is flash flood watches. The reds are tropical storm warning, but keep in mind, a lot of this area right here from Georgetown to Wilmington is under hurricane warnings now. There was watches. I don't know what's up with this imagery from them guys over there, but they have not updated it. Y'all are under hurricane warnings, so it's not a tropical storm warning anymore. It's the real deal. So that's that. I just want to jump into some model runs here. I don't want to get too deep into this because it's pretty much pointless now because this is nowcasting, but I do want to show some wind speeds. So check it out. This is the latest European from a few hours ago. This is Monday evening, and you can see the center of circulation starting to come. Those like oranges and stuff right there, that's tropical storm nearing hurricane force winds on that east side of the storm. You move forward in time, it looks like it does make landfall in South Carolina, but check out that flow affecting places like Wilmington, Carolina Beach, and Cure Beach there in the North Carolina area, with some east side major winds right there, pushing to hurricane status winds of 50 to 60, 70 mile per hour winds. So this is the NAM. It's always aggressive. It's not a very good reliable model as far as tropical, the aspect of things, but it is getting inside 18 hours, so it gets a little bit better. Here you got this system, and this is probably about 4 p.m. Monday. It's getting close to ride the coast of Charleston. It has it making landfall a lot more south. I don't think this is correct. It has making landfall just north of Charleston, and definitely much stronger looking winds, and that shows it pushing some hurricane force winds into places like Myrtle Beach. So that's a pretty big deal. I mean, and it holds in contact all the way intact all the way into North Carolina. So that's major. If that happens, we're looking at something much more damaging. Latest Triple R model, HRRR short range model. Same thing, but it has it making landfall a lot more centered on the cone from the National Hurricane Center. It has it going into just north of the South Carolina border there. The GFS, and you can see with the GFS really well how it's strengthening just before landfall. And right there, it might just be hurricane right there about to make landfall in Myrtle Beach, and there it goes into North Carolina. This is a HWRF model. Take it as you will. It's criticized a lot, but it gives you a good idea. Look at all that moisture flow. This is this afternoon, and that's throwing a lot of moisture real far inland, and some big time rain bands. A lot of tropical storm force winds there, and check it out. It starts to near the coast just south of Myrtle Beach and makes landfall right on the Grand Strand, and that is a wicked looking storm right there. So we need to take that serious if that happens, because you just never know. But this is the European max wind gust. It has it a little bit more further east into North Carolina, so, but it does have some tropical storm force winds, high end max wind gusts, even in Myrtle Beach and just south. So take that serious for sure, guys. And I'm sorry, I don't have as much energy here in the mornings, so it's hard to be elevated in my voice. But I want to show this. A lot of people aren't talking about this. They are a little bit, but the more south the storm kind of comes in, the more places like Myrtle Beach, a little northward, are going to have a tornado threat. This is what you call the tornado parameter. And you get a tornado threat on the east and the northeast side, and sometimes the northern ends of these storms. It's where these feeder bands feed off, and they can provide quick spin ups. They're not strong tornadoes necessarily, but they can cause a lot of damage. Even it's directly because of the hurricane or tropical storm, but You know, it's just crazy, you know, that it just adds insult to misery for some people. But check it out, that's a high-end 7-8 on the parameter scale. That's pretty high in isolated areas, and it starts to lower a little bit. But high tornado threat, very isolated area on the far eastern parts of the state that we need to watch out for from some of these feeder bands, which feeder bands are just bands that are just kind of pivoting off the storm and can pack a punch. So we need to watch for areas like that. As far as rainfall, a European model has a lot of rainfall. It is a big time cutoff, and I'm going to hold true to that. I think there's going to be a shield of heavy rain, and it's going to be a pretty drastic cutoff on about 30 miles from several inches of rain to maybe just a half inch to an inch of rain. But if you know where you are, that shows 5-6 inches of rain in some places. But overall, looking like a good 2 to 5 to 6 inches of rain in the eastern part of the state near Myrtle Beach and even through Charleston, things like that. I'm not going to spend too much time on each one of these graphics, but you get the point. GFS, this is the one from OOZ, not the 06Z, but it might shift some here. But it's showing a lot of rain in the same areas. A lot of this rain you see back in Columbia is from the trough, from the front. It's ultimately going to end up pushing this away from us. But the NAM goes, you know, it's pretty crazy. It pinpoints a lot more rain, but we're used to the NAM doing crazy stuff like that. But this is the National Weather Service, and this is really the thing that you want to pay attention to, because they are probably going to be the most accurate. These are really the professionals. 5, 6, 7 inches of rain just along the coast. So it's going to dump a ton of rain really, really fast. Let me see if I'm missing anything here. It doesn't look like I'm not, but like I said, hurricane warnings issued now for parts of the state. I will be chasing in that area today, a little later on today, when I have to drink a lot of Red Bulls to keep going, because I'm already up early this morning. So I'll have y'all some footage. Like I said, subscribe if you haven't. Follow along. I appreciate it. And that's all I got. Expect people to start calling this a hurricane again here later this afternoon for sure. As always, God bless all y'all, and y'all have a blessed day.